Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel kaviwebdesigns. And today I'm going to tell you all about my new course, which is the basic networking training course. So in this basic networking training course, you will learn the essential computer networking concepts like networking protocols, IP addressing, routing, switching, and essential security principles. So let's move on to our next slide, which is our table of content for this networking training course. So the table of content ranges from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 10, which is emerging networking technologies. So here the first chapter is the introduction to networking. Inside of the introduction to networking, I will tell you about definition and importance of networking, the types of networks like LAN, WAN, MAN, and PAN, and the local area networks, which are the LANs, the structure and the use cases, the client server and peer-to-peer models, and the network topology like Tor, ring, mesh, and hybrid. So let's go to our next slide. So our next slide has more table of content, and the next slide also has table of content all the way to our chapter 1. So the first chapter in this networking training course is the introduction to networking. So what is the definition of networking? The definition of networking is the process of connecting computers and devices to share resources, exchange data, and communicate. It involves both hardware, software components to establish a communication. Networks can range from small scales like LANs to large scales like WANs, including the network. So, what is the importance of networking? The importance of networking enables resources sharing, efficient communication, data management, scalability, and centralized security, making it essential for modern organizations for personal use. So as you can see here there's a photo of a switch which gets internet and transmits it to all of these 6 hardwares. So here the client number 1 is a normal laptop. So what the switch will do is the switch will get the internet from the internet, and then it will transmit it through this Ethernet cable all the way to your computer, making you have access to the internet. So let's go to our next slide. So the next slide is the types of networks. So here we have 4 types of networks, which is LAN, WAN, MAN, and PAN. So the first network is the LAN, which is known as local area network. And the description and what it means is LAN is a network that covers a small geographical area such as home, office, or building, and it typically uses Ethernet or Wi-Fi to connect devices in a confined space. So what are the usage scenarios? So the usage scenarios are, it can be used in office network, connecting computers, printers, and servers. And the second scenario can be like home networking for sharing files and internet access. The third one can be like school or campus networks for sharing internal resources and communication. So here let's go to our second type of network, which is the WAN, or otherwise known as wide area network. The WAN type of network is a network that covers a large geographical area such as cities or countries, and it connects multiple LANs using a leased lines, including satellites or fiber connection. So what are the usage scenarios? So the usage scenarios for WAN is the internet, which is the largest WAN. And the second scenario can be like multinational companies linking offices across countries. And the third one can be like government networks connecting branches across regions or globally. So let's go to our third type of network, which is the MAN network. The MAN network, or otherwise known as Metropolitan Area Network, is a network that spans a city or large campus. It's larger than LAN but smaller than WAN, and it connects multiple LANs within a defined geographical area, usually as a city. So what are the usage scenarios for MAN? The usage scenarios for MAN are connecting cooperate offices in different parts of a city, or university campuses linking buildings across a metropolitan area, or the third one is citywide public Wi-Fi services. So let's move on to the fourth type of network. The fourth type of network is PAN. PAN, otherwise known as Personal Area Network, is a network for personal devices within a small range or a few meters, typically using Bluetooth, infrared, or USB to connect peripherals or mobile devices. So, what are the usage scenarios for PAN? The usage scenarios for PAN is connecting smartphones to Bluetooth headsets, and the second scenario is syncing data between a smartphone and a smartwatch. And the third one is using a laptop with a wireless mouse or a keyboard. So let's go to the next slide. So the next slide is talking about LAN. LAN, local area network. So what are the LAN's structure and use cases? A LAN, local area network, is a network that connects over a limited area such as a home, office, or a building. And it typically includes a device like this, a laptop, a computer, a printer, or a router. And a router/switch, which is this. So the devices can be a computer, printers, and other devices connected within the network. The router is the central hub that manages data traffic between devices. And the cable or wireless links, which are the LAN cables labeled here. So the cables or wireless links, these physically connect to the device using a Ethernet cable or Wi-Fi. So as you can see here, this is a switch which takes internet from the internet and gives it all out to this laptop using a LAN cable to these two computers and a printer using the LAN cable. So now let's go to our next slide. So the next slide is the client-server model. In the client-server model, one or more client servers provide resources or services to client devices, for example like computers, smartphones, and etc. Clients request data or services from the server, which process these requests and sends the required data back. So what is the structure of a client-server model? So here the structure of a client-server model is number one, the server, which is a dedicated device or multiple servers that provide switches such as file storage, databases, emails, or web hosting. So as you can see here down in this picture here, this is the server which connects to the internet, and you'll give Wi-Fi to all these clients, which is a smartphone, a desktop, a laptop, and many more. So the second structure is the clients. So the clients are devices like personal computers, smartphones, or workstations, as I showed here, that request resources from the server. So let's go to our next slide to learn about more. So the next slide has peer-to-peer models. In peer-to-peer models or P2P models, each device or node in the network acts as both a client and a server. All devices can request and provide resources to one another without needing a central server. So as you can see here in the structure of peer-to-peer models or P2P models, whatever you can call them. So here the structure only contains one, which is the peers or the computers. Peers. Every device on the network that can initiate requests and also provide resources, files, data, and etc. to other devices. So as you can see here we have the P2P or peer-to-peer network model here. So here, as you can see here every computer has a connection to itself. Like this computer has a connection to this computer, or this computer has a connection to all of these computers here. So let's go to the next slide to learn about more. So the next slide contains network topologies like string, like star, ring, mesh, and hybrid. So here the now first topology is the star topology. The star topology has a structure, an advantage, a disadvantage, and the use cases. So here the structure for the star is that all devices are connected to a central hub or switch, which is like this in the picture shown below. So as you can see here in this picture, wait, let me just move my camera a little bit. Yeah, as you can see here there is a star topology here. So in this star topology here, this is a central hub and all of these 5 are devices. So the central hub will take internet from the internet and it will transmit the internet to all of these 5 devices. So let's see the advantages of star topology. So the advantage for star topology is that it's easy to set up and manage, and failure on one device does not affect the rest. So suppose this computer cannot receive data from the central hub, it won't do anything to other 4 computers. And lastly, it has a centralized control. That means that all 5 of these have control on the central hub. So let's go on to the disadvantages of the star topology. So the star topology first disadvantage is the failure of central hub. The failure of central hub will disrupt the entire network. So if the central hub does not work, then all 5 of these laptops won't have any internet anymore unless someone comes to fix it. And we have the second disadvantage, which is it requires more cables than some other topologies. So here in the star topology here is taking a lot of cable connection. So it will take a long time for it. It will take a lot of money to buy all of these 5 Ethernet cables. So now let's go to the use cases of the star topology. So the use cases of the star topology is that it can be used in office LAN networks, data centers, and home networks. So let's go to the next network topology, which is the ring topology. The ring topology structure is that devices are connected in a circular loop. Each device has exactly 2 neighbors. So let's see here in the ring topology, there is no central hub anymore, and there's only computers connecting to each other. So here, suppose this is your computer. So this computer has exactly 2 neighbors, this neighbor and this neighbor. What if you are this computer? If you are this computer, you would have exactly 2 neighbors also, this neighbor and this neighbor. So let's go to the advantages of the ring topology. So the advantages of the ring topology is it has a predictable data flow and equal access to the network for all devices. So let's move on to the disadvantages of the ring topology. The disadvantages of the ring topology is that a break in the ring can disrupt the network. So what if this wire has been cut? So if that wire has been cut, that means there will be no more connections from this computer to this computer, which disrupts the whole ring topology. So let's move on to the second disadvantage of the ring topology. The second disadvantage of the ring topology is that it has a slower data transmission compared to the star topology. So here in the ring topology, here what if this laptop wants to send it to this laptop? Wants to send some personal data to this laptop? Well, it can't. So what it will have to do is that this computer has to send it to either this or this. If you send it to here, then it will send it to this and then this, which will reveal the personal data that you have sent, that you have tried to send to there. And here the data transmission will take a long time from this person to this person's laptop. But in star topology, the central hub takes care of everything. So if the central hub gets a code, say send this data to this computer, it will send it to this computer. So let's move on to the next one, which is the use cases. So what are the use cases of the ring topology? The use cases of the ring topology is fiber data interface or FDDI networks, and the second one is token ring networks. So now let's go to the next network topology, which is the mesh topology. The mesh topology's structure is that every device is connected to every other device, as I have shown in the previous one. As I have shown in this here, this is a mesh topology. So as you can see here all of the computers are connected to each other, and it's the same for this also, as all of the devices are connected to each other. Like this device connected to this device, all of the devices are connected to each other. So what are the advantages of mesh topology? So the advantages of the mesh topology are it has high redundancy and reliability, and data can take multiple paths. So let's move on to the disadvantages of it. So the disadvantages of the mesh topology is that it's very expensive due to a large number of connections. Like there's a large number of LANs used, LAN wires or Ethernet cables used. So it will cost you about a lot of dollars. So let's move on to the second one, which is second disadvantage, which is it is very complex to set up and maintenance. So if you want to set up a mesh topology, it will take a long time, as because there's too many wires for you to connect to every single device to each other. So what are the use cases of mesh? The use cases of mesh is used in military communication networks or mission critical systems. So let's move on to the last topology, which is the hybrid topology. The hybrid topology structure is that it's a combination of two or more topologies, for example like star, ring or star with mesh. So as you can see here in the hybrid, here in this picture down below, here the hybrid topology has the tree topology and the ring topology. You can change this to like the ring topology with the star topology, and like the mesh topology with the star topology, and many more. So let's look at the advantages of the hybrid topology. So the advantages for the hybrid topology, it has a flexibility in design and it's very scalable and adaptable to different requirements. Now let's move on to the disadvantages of the hybrid topology. The disadvantages are that it's very complex to design. So imagine you have a mesh with star and a tree. It's gonna take a lot of time to combine mesh, star and tree all together. And the second disadvantage for the hybrid topology is that it may be expensive depending on the mix of topologies. So imagine you have the mesh topology connected with the tree topology with the star topology. It will take a lot of money, so it's gonna be very expensive for you to design and all. So what are the use cases? Well, the hybrid topology is used in large organizations and complex cooperative networks. So folks, this is it for today. And if you like this video and you want to support us, please like, share, subscribe to our channel Kaviwebdesigns. And I hope you'll have a nice day. This is Bhavik signing off.